Sean Hannity is very much concerned about an incredibly scary candidate, and he wants to warn his audience members about this candidate. Her name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she wants to give everyone health care. So in this segment, he talks about all the things that most Americans actually want, and then urges people to not vote for her. Take a look.
And many are hailing Cortez as a rising star on the political landscape, but in reality, her views, her policy positions are actually downright scary. Look, by the way, he was a guy that was supposed to take over for Nancy Pelosi, perhaps. Look very carefully. This is the future. This is your modern Democratic Party. Cortez, who will likely win the general election in a Democratic district, is pushing for, let's see, single-payer, universal health care, universal jobs, government subsidized housing for everybody, tuition, free colleges. She wants to abolish ICE and, of course, impeach President Trump. Now, the only difference between the self-proclaimed socialist that you just saw and the rest of the Democratic Party is she's actually more honest.
That was awesome, right? So one of the things on the list that, of course, is going to stand out to me is housing for everyone. So I think most Americans do want housing for everyone, unless you're a monster and you get your kicks off of thinking about people living out on the streets. I mean, if that's what you like, then you're hopeless. We're not having a conversation with you. But oddly enough, Sean Hannity falls under that category. He thinks housing for everyone. Are you kidding me? Housing for everyone, healthcare for everyone? Why don't we just let people die out on the streets if they can't afford it? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and by the way, somebody who did housing, or a city that did housing for everyone, was Utah, Salt Lake City in Utah. And it turns out it worked. It brought homelessness down and it saves money.
No,
okay.
But one step further, not only did it bring homelessness down, save money for the city, but it also increased property values because there weren't homeless people like living on the streets in front of your home, right?
And that's what you say, Anna. I say scary. Okay, did you see the rest of that list? I love that. And we just had Ocasio-Cortez on the show and she said, I'm gonna run it as a Facebook ad, that segment of Hannity's. But if you look at the right side of the list, mobilizing against climate change, okay, that's a progressive position, but one held by about 60% of the country, so I guess the country's progressive. Clean campaign finance, over 90% of the country agrees with that, including the overwhelming majority of Republicans. Higher education for all, that's equality of opportunity and the American dream. Women's rights, so this is scary. This is the list of scary positions that Hannity put on, right? Women's rights is scary. Supporting LGBT rights, scary. Supports seniors, the goddamn seniors are going to support them too?
They're
That's
watching
really scary.
your show. They're watching your show.
Such a great point. The average age of a Fox News viewer is 68 years old. Hannity's doing his show from a senior citizen center and doesn't know it. So on the board it says support seniors and he goes scary and they're like, for every 38-year-old that watches Hannity's program, there's a 98-year-old that watches.
That's insane.
That's how old his audience is. But lucky for them, we actually want to look out for them.
Yeah.
And that's part of why Ocasio-Cortez got elected. So thank you very much for the ad. We really appreciate it. By the way, Ocasio-Cortez, of course, has her own platform. Every one of the Just Democrats has their own platform. But the Just Democrats have a platform, and a lot of them take it, and then they craft it to match their particular views. The person who wrote the original Just Democrats platform, in case you're wondering, and it's an interesting little fact, Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk, okay? And then I, along with the Just Democrats staff, helped to edit it and make and improve upon it, et cetera. And then candidates like Alexandria take there and make it their own. So she added things that, based on the news, like support Puerto Rico, which of course she believed in all along, but especially given the facts and the recent things. And then she led on the issue of abolishing ICE. And that was a really bold stance, and they said, oh, well, that's not gonna work, oh, it's gonna be far left. People don't want that. Well, they're grabbing people off the streets and they're stopping people based on the fact that they're just speaking Spanish when they have no evidence against them.
Yep.
Guess what? It turns out people kind of like that idea. So she made it her own and she made it powerful. And that is exactly why the Sean Hannitys of the world are scared of her.
Yes, powerful and unapologetic, right? She's not afraid to share these ideas and do it, in an aggressive way, and that's what I love about her. Now, here is the second Hannity clip where he's trying to energize, Republican voters to go out and fight people like Cortez.
I keep saying this is the single most important midterm election of our lifetimes. Now, will President Trump be able to assert his agenda for the last 2 years of his first term, or are socialists, will they be able to impeach him, obstruct him every step of the way? Will we have another originalist on the Supreme Court, or will Democrats be able to successfully block Kennedy's successor? Do you really want these people running the country?
Yes.
Definitely. Man, he punched that "these people" line. Okay. So these people who support seniors and other Americans, do you really want them running the country instead of the people who will bow down to the corporate overlords? So I think the answer was overwhelmingly yes in her district. And I think that what Hannity is afraid of, and that is that they're going to find out in a lot of districts that people are going to say, yeah, wait a minute, these people are sticking up for us instead of their donors. So let me give you other folks. I mean, it's a great list of people, but Brent Welder in Kansas, Kaniela Ng in Hawaii, and then just Democrats that have already won, like Jess King and Carrie Eastman, and the list goes on. Go to justdemocrats.com, find out the people who've already won their primaries or going to general election, find out the people who still have primaries coming up. There's some wonderful candidates, and that is why Just Democrat like Brent Welder is now leading his Republican opponent by 7 points in the middle of Kansas. And that is why the Republicans are right now in a panic. And that's why, you know what happened? So this is, guys, you're part of this movement, and you were instrumental in making this happen. So once Ocasio-Cortez wins, she then endorses Brent Welder, okay? Because now her endorsement is important because she has power. And then people go, oh my gosh, she endorsed Brent Welder, so let's look at what's happening in Kansas. They look at Brent, and then the Republicans panic because they see the poll where he's beating Kevin Yoder, the Republican incumbent. And then they put out press releases, oh, the Democrats, they better not go in this direction. Please, don't go in this direction. I mean, this is dangerous for us. Why are you so scared? Shouldn't you be thrilled? If I thought my opponent was making a mistake, they're about to score on their own basket, would I be like, hey, stop? And I'd be like, okay, cool, go ahead. Right? I wouldn't go out putting press releases like, hey, watch out. That guy's about to do me a favor.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
So,
by the way, tytkansas.com. And that's the way to support Brent Welder. We've been supporting him from day one. And I'll say one more thing. I know the money that this audience has raised for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Brent Welder, and so many other Just Democrats, it's over $2 million in total.
Wow.
You guys are amazing. And the Republicans are absolutely right to be scared out of their minds of you. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.